Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of TRAITOR TRENT. Now if you're new to my channel, before you caps lock me to death, the title is just a bit tongue-in-cheek, it's just a bit of banter and all that. So if you're a wet wipe and that's offending you, this isn't the channel for you, alright? The videos are not malicious in any way. The videos are just about what's happening with Trent, what the media is saying to him, alright? Because some of us are interested to see how his career goes, like we are many other Liverpool players that we touch on here. If you're not interested in Trent, you could avoid the videos that have got his name in them. All right, so let's get on with it. So last night, Real Madrid won 3-0 at Oviedo, all right? And Carvajal was selected ahead of Trent. So after one La Liga game, he was basically demoted to the bench. You might say rotation or whatever, but the media didn't portray it like that. It was very much dropped. So I'm going to tell you what the the likes of Marca and AS had to say there, the pro Real Madrid newspapers. I think what's it called, Sport and Mundo Deportivo chimed in as well. I'm not sure, but I've compiled the notes. I did that this morning when I was at the cafe. I review the papers every day. We're looking for stuff to do with Canate, for example, at the moment, and obviously we're keeping an eye on Trent as to how he does, right? So Carvajal was preferred at right back. Trent did start the last La Liga game, but he was basically hammered, which I thought was a bit harsh. I didn't think he was that bad in that game. He wasn't great, that is for sure, but he was written off as terrible in that game. So yeah, he lost out to the captain and club legend Carvajal, who is idolised by the fans. And this is really important to understand that, because that means Trent's already got his work cut out. He's not just competing against a very good right back, he's a club legend. The fans absolutely adore him. So he barely featured, did Trent. He came on for the last 3 minutes of the game. Marca didn't bother to rate him, and neither did AS as well. Obviously, he was only on there for 3 minutes. Carvajal received strong ratings. He got 2 out of 3 from Marca and 3 out of 3 from AS. Marca, they wrote, at right back, there's a real brawl between Carvajal and Trent. That's what they had to say about the situation. AS, they wrote, they had like a sub-headline, Estupendo Carvajal, which means superb Carvajal. Straight away, the loving, is there. And they wrote, Trent, Brahim and Vinicius, insipid during the Club World Cup and in the opener against Osasuna, lost their place. So basically saying, they're not good enough, in the first few games or whatever, so they lost their place. And they also said on the same wing, Carvajal returned, a shot of adrenaline. He was impeccable. So basically, AS, they praised Carvajal a couple of times, once in the sub-headline and again in the article body. Trent is only mentioned once and negatively, grouped with Brahim and Vinicius as insipid and therefore dropped. AS also wrote, Carvajal was eating Trent alive in training and justice today was done. Actually, it says today justice was done. It's important that I convey the right message. So Carvajal was eating Trent alive in training, and today justice was done in terms of him getting that position back in the team. They also said, at last we saw Danny back in the starting 11 with that captain's armband that he wears like no one else. He's a warrior, and nobody would imagine he's been out for a whole season. Carva is the heart of this team and the engine of the dressing room. Indispensable. Now, Carvajal was eating Trent in training. Obviously, this is translated. That's very direct and lateral. So, football natural English, if you like. Carvajal was bossing Trent in training. Carvajal was all over Trent in training. Or just Carvajal was running rings around Trent in training. That's basically the message that they're trying to get across. Eating alive, we understand what that means. It basically conveys being totally outclassed. But, if you want it to sound more natural football, he was bossing him or running rings around him. Sport, which is the pro-Barcelona newspaper, their headline was simply wake-up call for Vinicius and Alexander-Arnold. And they wrote, the Basque coach of Real Madrid also restored Dani Carvajal to the starting lineup at the expense of one of this season's signings, Alexander-Arnold. So Mundo Deportivo didn't touch, and I didn't see much in there, to be honest with you. So I asked Grok, Grok AI, what his take was on it. And he said, my take, it's early days. Trent's world-class passing and set-piece threat could make him indispensable once he settles. But if Alonso's going for a more defensively solid setup against scrappy sides like Oviedo, benching him makes sense to avoid risk. Rotation in a packed schedule is key too, especially with stars like Vinicius also starting on the bench in that game. If this becomes a pattern, it might fuel those transfer regret narratives. Now, the reason I ask Grok is very up to date with real-time information and opinion. All right, so like, you know, it can access all the posts on X, if you like, during the game, after the game, etc., etc. So then I asked Dave, our main man Dave, our resident AI here, that I've been training since last year to analyse football reports, the journalists that write them and the newspapers that publish them. And Dave said, Grok's being kind. The reality is the Madrid media aren't giving Trent any settling in period. They're hammering him after one league game. Carvajal's return isn't being framed as rotation. It's been celebrated as justice done. The warrior captain taking his rightful place. Trent, he's either not rated, called insipid, or described as being eaten alive in training. That's not neutral squad management talk. That's open ridicule. Sure, his passing and set-piece threat could come good later, but Madrid's press won't wait. They expect instant impact, and if you don't deliver, they will bury you. And we were saying this, weren't we? You know, like during all that last year, if you like, you know, Trent, what you doing, man? You know, they're going to fucking eat you alive kind of thing. Bottom line, this isn't being presented as tactical rotation, says Dave. It's being presented as Carvajal is greater than Trent, full stop. If this narrative keeps up, Trent's Madrid story could spiral into transfer flop territory frighteningly fast. All right, so that is what the Madrid-based media, and well, also the Barcelona media, but let's just say the Spanish media, although people in Barcelona don't consider themselves Spanish, to be honest with you, but that's what they're saying about him. I remember saying last night, you know, like tomorrow, you know, meaning today, I thought, oh, the papers, he's on the bench and he's only got 3 minutes, so I didn't think there'd be a lot said about Trent. So I was thinking today, I wonder what they're going to say about Carvajal. You know, are they going to big him up like, yeah, he's back and all that? And that's what happened. So it's not a lot about Trent. It's more about Carvajal. But you can see that the digs in there and stuff like that. And I think it's a bit harsh. I've got to be honest with you. I do. I mean, the Club World Cup, wow, big deal, right? He had some assists at the Club World Cup during that tournament. He's playing for a new team. He's got to adapt to a new team. He's in a new country as well, you know. And but the pressure is real. There's no doubt about it. And at Madrid, you are expected to deliver straight away. I personally am not writing him off. You know, he might be good. You know, some people are saying to me, where do you think he'll end up now? And I'm like, well, hang on, he's already played one La Liga game, because that's where it's at, in La Liga, not the Club World Cup. So, yeah, I'm interested in seeing how it goes, to be honest with you guys. What about you? I know some of you want him to bomb miserably, and some of you want him to be a success, and fair play to you, you know. I'm not really bothered either way what happens, but I do have a genuine interest in seeing what happens with his career if he made the right choice. Yeah, definitely. All right, so I'll leave it with you. Let me know what you think. I mean, some of you will be like howling, I know that, and some of you will be like, well, it's only one fucking La Liga game. But you can see, can't you, what he's up against? He's up against that anyway at Real Madrid. But Carvajal is not just up against a good player, he's up against a club legend. And he's going to find it tough, I think. He is. But, you know, maybe he gets in there, settles a bit. You know, give the lad time, surely. I know some of you don't want him to have time and you're enjoying it. But from my point of view, you know, I just think, give him a chance, fucking hell. But they won. That's the thing. Them fuckers won. They won. Anyway, I'll leave it with you guys, all right? If you found the video remotely interesting, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment. Your comments are very important to me. If you leave a silly, nasty comment, you'll be gone. No one will see you again. And if you want to get me a beer or a coffee, there's a love out under the video called a super thanks. That's right, there is. And I always give a shout out to everyone in my morning briefings that do that. I've just done my morning, well, I didn't just do it, I did it earlier actually. It was about 6 this morning, or 5 in the UK. That's on my other YouTube channel, all right? So my shout outs and acknowledgements are on there. That's on the Duncan Oldham channel. The link to that channel is in the video description, all right? And it'll pop up on screen as well. All right, guys, I'll see you in a bit.